Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is DeLadysigner, and we are back with another episode of our city zoo. And in this episode, we're going to build a habitat for the Warthog and the Aardvark. And I am going to be honest, I actually had planned to upload a Formosan black bear habitat, but I had this brilliant idea to start working on that habitat during my live streams on Twitch. And obviously, I do like to chit chat a lot, and it all doesn't go super well because I wasn't really happy with the build I was working on. So yeah, a lot of things happened, and in the end of the day I decided, you know what, we're going to continue working on this Formosan black bear habitat, but let me just work on something else instead for City Zoo to upload on YouTube already, because I don't think I will be finished on time with the Formosan black bear habitat. So yeah, that's why you're now looking at a different habitat. But obviously, as soon as the habitat for the Formosan black bear is finished, I will upload that one to YouTube as well, of course. And if you want to see my live streams, definitely go and check out my Twitch link in the description down below. I stream on Mondays and Wednesdays on 7 p.m. CET, so it will be wonderful to see you guys out there as well. So this Warthog and Aardvark habitat is very close to the Twin Buildings, as you may know. The Twin Buildings is with a restaurant and a lion's habitat inspired by Rotterdam Zoo, Blijdorp for those who are Dutch. And yeah, this one is really close to it. There is like this big green field in front of both habitats, basically, but in front of the Twin Buildings and this building, and that is basically how it's connected. This one is on the right of the Twin Buildings, and there will be some more foliage in front of the building on that big grassy area in the future. So if you're seeing the cinematic shot, yes, it is very plain still in front of this habitat, but I need to make sure how I exactly want to have shrubs and stuff. I still want to have like this grassy open field in front of the Twin Buildings, but it's definitely going to be a little bit more dense around this whole habitat for the Aardvarks and the Common Warthogs in a later stage. So just so you guys know, and I really wanted to go for some kind of barn feeling. I'm not really sure what I exactly searched for on Google. I think I was just looking for zoo buildings or something very simple, just to see if there was some kind of building that inspired me to create something for the Warthog and the Aardvark. And in the end, I found something. I have no idea anymore from what kind of zoo it was. It's also not really recreation. It was just a building that I saw, and I realized like, okay, this is something I can work with. And then I decided to give it my own twist and stuff, obviously. So yeah, it's basically just some glimpse of inspiration, and that's basically it. So it doesn't really matter what kind of building I use for it in this case. But yeah, I really wanted to do something with like more smaller habitat, more looking, feeling a little bit like a petting zoo maybe. I'm not really sure if that is really the word for it, but I really wanted to make sure these were two very small habitats, very simple, very city zoo-ish to fit for these two animals. I know these two animals are not really that popular in Planet Zoo, unfortunately, because for me, I really love the Common Warthogs together with the Derpy Bongo Faces. As you may know me on my Twitch or from my franchise zoos, I really love these two animals in this game. So it's quite a pity that they're very underrated in my opinion, especially the Warthog. And yeah, the Aardvarks are also really amazing. I really do love these animals too. So yeah, I'm going to upload it anyways, even though these animals might not be as popular as, for example, some big cats or anything. I just really love to add these guys in our city zoo. At first I thought I wanted to have some kind of building where the guests could also walk in, but I very quickly realized that that would make the habitats way too big, and that's definitely not what I wanted to go for. So very quickly I decided to close it off again and to make sure that the building will be separated into exactly two different halves. So one half will be for the Warthog and one half for the Aardvarks, and really give them the same amount of space basically, and really just a mirrored area with this building. And I also really wanted to give these buildings some kind of real windows for a change, because we mostly just play around with the in-game windows, just put them onto a wall. But sometimes you really want to give a little bit more extra detail to your building and really create your own windows that are really glassy and you could really look through them. And that is something I tried, and these are actually really simple windows, but they do work super well. So you basically just take a shop front and then you just split them into 2 sections, because with the limestone you have like this trim where you can like have the texture of the wall itself and really easily just divide it or anything. You can do really creative things with the limestone walls. I really wish we had more of these type of building sets with like smaller little pieces where you have a little bit more variation with. But yeah, the limestone walls are definitely one of my favorites because you have this freedom with them. So you basically have this shop front and you divide it into 2 different sections, so 2 open sections with the limestone pieces. And after that, you just add a glass wall, and I use these black planks to create the window itself and to create something cute out of it. And I think it looks absolutely amazing. And obviously, this building is not really meant to look inside. I mean, I didn't really do that much of decorating. It's very simple on the inside because I am not really expecting the guests to really look inside. They will mostly be standing outside and look at the Warthog like playing in the mud and the Aardvark just rocking around a little bit. So yeah, it's not really intended to look inside, but just more for the daylight for the animals itself, I guess. So at first I actually wanted to have 2 different gates right in front of the building, on the front side of the building, but the game just wouldn't let me. I don't know what happened, but I had so many struggles with just putting down 2 gates next to each other. The game just won't let you to add those right next to each other. It was so annoying. It took me quite some time offline to figure out if there was any other way to do it, but it was just not possible. So in the end of the day, I had to put the keeper gates at the back side of the building, which is not really that bad. It's not really an issue. Like, I just make sure that we have a path now connected to one of the twin buildings. So in the restaurant on the back side of that, so the backstage area basically, there now are some facility buildings. I didn't do any decorating though. I just put down some facility buildings in that backstage area to make sure that everything is functioning and we can use those facility buildings also for the lions and also for the elephants that are a little bit further away still. But yeah, that will be the next episode, by the way. But yeah, so we do have some facility buildings now for the staff, so in order to make sure that they have a keeper hut and a staff building and those kind of things, obviously. And the fencing is pretty straight at this whole habitat build. Like, the only thing I did was in the front, but just following the rotation of the path itself. But the rest is pretty straight, pretty simple. And as I always do, I really like to decorate these fences with some habitat pillars because, I don't know, it just looks super well together with my favorite chain link fences. So I keep using it, especially in this area here, because we have used those same techniques all over the place on this side of the zoo. So I really wanted to stay in that same style. And the same goes for, of course, the shrubs and those kind of things, like the bramble bushes, I think they're called, and like those yellow bushes. Still, I don't know the name of them, but you see me placing them around at some point on the edges of the habitat itself. And of course, like as usual, we're going to use a lot of the European temperate biome trees and shrubs to really create that dense feeling. But as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to wait for the front section, which is going to be more dense as well. And you can see that in the cinematic shot later on. You see an overview and you can tell like this big grassy area in front of the twin buildings and this building being on the right side of it. And yeah, you can tell that it's a little bit too open for my taste at the Warthogs and the Aardvark. So we're definitely going to close it off a little bit more. The downside of this whole build, something that always makes me cringe. If you know me for a while now, you know exactly what I mean. But this building is exactly on the wrong side of the sun. So there is barely any sun with this building. I really had to make it like very late at the day, remove a lot of trees to even make my thumbnail because it was just so hard. I really can't stand it. All those buildings in the shadows. No, it's just not for me. I really don't like it. But in the end, I kind of worked out with making a thumbnail. But if we could just change this sun position, that would be just so amazing in this game. Like, sometimes you open a map and the sun is already, when you start building, just on the wrong side. I think that's with Asia or something. I don't know. It's like, why? Why do we not have the entrance on the other side? Like, you have to change it yourself. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But overall, I managed to finish this habitat. It was a little bit more in the shadows, as I said, but it still looks really well, and it's a very simple but cute little build for these two cute little animals, as I said. So I'm really happy with how this one has turned out, especially being in like an area with like big main features like the Rivierahal, which is a huge building, and the twin buildings on the left side. So you can't really go too crazy, just like I said with like the Okapi habitat, which is right in front of the Rivierahal. So we really want to avoid like having huge humongous main buildings all over the place, and these type of animals don't, well, I want to say don't deserve it, but that's not really that doesn't sound nice, lady. No, they do deserve it, but they don't really fit in like a huge main building, in my opinion. So these are, I think, less popular animals also in the game. So yeah, I think this is just a perfect habitat for these cute small little creatures. And obviously, I almost forgot, but I had to raise the fencing a little bit because obviously the warthogs are such good jumpers. So yeah, those 1 meter fences, no, it's not gonna happen with your warthogs. You have to make them larger. So I had to change the fencing again a little bit. So that was kind of a pity because the aardvark can be very low. So you have a little bit of difference in the fencing, but it's not really bothering or anything. So it's totally fine, I guess. And of course, I wanted to decorate a little bit of the habitats with some rocks. Just a few, like nothing really special, but just for a small little decoration, I used those aquatic rocks, my favorite rocks, for the habitat to be decorated a little bit. So yeah, I think overall, this habitats are perfect for the aardvarks and the warthogs, and I think they're perfect in the area where they are right now. This is actually the last normal habitat we are building in this African region because we have the okapi now and we have the giraffes. I'm just thinking out loud right over here. So that basically means that we only have left the animals that are going to be in the Jeep Safari area. So then you should think of like the African wild dog, the cheetah, the nyala, buffalo, zebra, and the ostrich most likely. So those will all be connected to the Jeep Safari ride. Like the entrance of that Jeep Safari is in between those twin buildings. So if you haven't seen that episode yet, I highly recommend you to watch that one with the African lion habitat. And yeah, so when the Jeep Safari was finished, then everything of the African region is finished in City Zoo. But obviously we're going to mix that up a little bit with the Asian area. But as I said, I'm still working on that first episode with the Formosan black bear, so it's gonna take some time. Probably in the next episode is probably going to be the African elephants. So yeah, we're going to mix it a little bit up, I guess, with the Asian area and the Jeep Safari, because that is all there is. But it feels like we're actually coming closer to finishing up this zoo. There are still some staff areas and some restaurants we have to build, of course, as well. So it's probably still going to take a few months before we are finished. But it's actually really cool to see that we are actually coming to an end with this series, so that is quite exciting. But I'm talking about this when we still probably have 10 or 20 episodes to go, so yeah, don't really mind me. Do let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this new Common Warthog and Aardvark habitat. Leave a like at the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And if you want to support the channel a little extra, you may want to consider to become a Fay Fam member with the link down in the description. And you may also get some early access. Just click that join button down below. And you can also, of course, find me on other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch, as I just mentioned. So definitely go and follow me there as well. The links are also in the description down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And I really hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys!